Hi there everyone, welcome to Fingers, Thumbs and Fits, and well, this is the culmination of the last month's worth of unboxing. This is Worms, the gift calendar game. A little bit later than previously scheduled, and I can only apologise for that. This has needed to be re-recorded due to technical issues. So, anyways, let's begin by showing you the final mini that I unboxed. I painted it up. It's a worm with the dynamite. There it is, looking quite cool as ever. Let's kind of explain what we've got set up here at the moment. I haven't set up anything, well, really for the game at the moment. I've shuffled our cards here. Now, I'm going to do this with two teams, which means that, effectively two players, but I'm obviously playing against myself. So that means that we get an additional worm. So we get 3 worms per team, and which is denoted by the red ring around the bases on this one. And I've got yellow ones for the other team. Ordinarily, we get one of each of these tokens. So we get let's look over at these ones. We get a supply crate, a mine, and an oil drum to begin with. Plus we'd get 1 bazooka and 1 Uzi card. These cards are ordinarily supposed to be face down, but I'm going to keep them face up for the purposes of this game so that we can see what each team has. Also, because of the fact that there's only 2 players, we get an additional supply crate, an additional landmine at the beginning here, and an additional bazooka. Now, what we need to do first, get my dice straight, roll 4 dice, which will determine the wind direction. Now, look at that. That was almost needing to re-roll it right off the bat. 3 wind markers and a 2. Now, what we do is we just choose one of the dice, one of the numbers that come up. But there's our wind marker pointing towards 2. Now we can just see who's going to go first. So we're going to, or deploy first rather. So we're going to go red team, rolled a 2, yellow team, rolled a target, so let's re-roll that, also rolls a 2. Okay, red 4, yellow 6. Okay, so yellow team gets to set up first. Now, how we do this is we alternate in putting down things. Now, things are, well, pretty much anything that isn't a map. So they're worms, they're supply crates, they're oil drums, they're landmines. So we alternate by putting one of these down. So I'm going to start off with the worms. So we're going to put down a worm. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put them kind of next to each other. You've got to put deploy in empty hexes to begin with, so there's no grouping worms together. So there's our teams. Let's put we'll just put these down as is. So we've got 2 supply crates, so these 2 can go here. We're going to do a similar thing over here. So 1, 2. Again, they have to be in empty hexes. Landmines are now going next to enemies. So 1, 2, and we're going to do the same. Definitely do the same here. So maybe 1. Lots of landmines in the middle. Now we don't have any extra empty spaces now to put oil drums. So yellow team is going to put 1 oil drum here, and red team's going to put 1 here. Okay, so we now can begin. Let's have a look-see. Now, the models, the weapons that they're holding is large. I say it's largely irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant. They're just there for, varying aesthetic choices. The attacks that you can make are determined by the cards that you have in your hand. So, what we need to do is, now we're going to start off with, I mean, worms can move up to 2 hexes, they can move a hex and play a card, they can play a card of prod, they can move and prod, they can just prod, they can jump 2 hexes. If any worms are knocked into any water, which is the blue spaces, including the ones in the middle, they're automatically taken out of the game. If a worm gets damaged, it gets put on its side. If a worm takes another point of damage whilst it's like this, it's removed. And that's pretty much how it's going to work. So, let's start dealing some damage. Yellow worm with the bazooka here is actually going to fire with bazooka. Oops, apologies. It's not hit the tripod. Right, so bazooka. Target, direct hex, accuracy 4, blast hex. Right, this means take our target counter and put it in the desired hex that we're targeting. Now, bazooka has direct written on it, which means it can only fire in a straight line, which is why I picked this dude, because he can go 1, 2, 3 like that. Accuracy 4 means it's effectively got a range of 4, but each hex away from your originating worm after the first removes an accuracy dice. So this one would not remove any dice, this one would remove 1, this one would remove 2. So as it's accuracy 4, we take our 4 dice, remove the 2 for the range, and roll to see what happens. Now, we haven't got any target icons, which are those ones. We have a wind marker symbol, and we have a number, which means, I mean, I can choose which one I want to pick. So wind marker means that the target will move 1 hex in the direction of the wind, which means it would effectively be here, so it'd be useless. Or the 1 means it would move in this direction. Now, as a 1, that means it would be here. So, it's not a miss, it's hit another worm instead. So, what we do, we damage the worm in the hex, and it says blast, which means we pop a crater in there as well. Now, if a hex gets 2 craters, well, it can take 2 craters. If it gets any more, it will become a water hex. So, it's quite dangerous. So yeah, that was the yellow first turn. It used its bazooka card, so this is now discarded, and play moves over onto the next guys. Now I think it's probably worth standing that guy up, because he could be potentially taken out. So it does have to stand up first. If we select it, it's considered the active worm for this turn, so it has to do something else. Being damaged, it doesn't really negate actions. So what we're going to do is stand him up. We're going to move to 1, 2. Now, we've walked into this hex that has a supply crate in it. That will automatically get picked up as a free action, and so we draw a card. Now, again, ordinarily these cards would be hidden from your opponent, but for the purposes of knowing what we're going on here, this guy with the dynamite has just picked up a fire punch. This isn't just set to him, that now goes into the pool for the whole team. So that's his turn. No, he can still attack, actually, which he's going to. He's going to dish out some similar damage. He's going to use a bazooka as well. Don't need to really explain how this works now. We're just going to go ahead and do it. 4 dice, 0, 1, 2. So we're still going to roll 2 dice. And they're both wind markers, which is going to be somewhat tricky because, okay, we would have put that there. The target now moves here. Which is interesting because now we blast this hex, which means we put a crater in it, which also removes that supply crate. But there's an oil drum here as well, so that also explodes because that's taking damage. And we now have to roll 3 dice, and this will determine sort of like a blast radius of the oil drum. Target markers represent the hex the oil drum was in, and the wind represents the wind direction, and a number just goes in that direction. So, a 2 would damage something here, which means the landmine would explode, which also blasts that hex, so that's got a crater in it as well. Doesn't resolve any further damage to landmines, they're just isolated to their hexes. So that was the 2. We have another 2, which will put another crater here. Oh no, it's not, I do apologise, duplicate rolls are not resolved. And then we have a 3, which would be here, which doesn't do anything. So actually that has only destroyed, well, it's destroyed a supply crate and a mine, and put some blast markers down, which is really damaging this landscape. Okay, so back to yellows. Now we can potentially I don't want to move into a space with a landmine in it. I do, however, want to move into a space with a supply crate in it. So I can go 1, pick up the supply crate, see what we get. Banana bomb. Then we're going to move him back here. Oh no, no, we're not. We're going to use him. Sorry, because the guy with the bazooka already acted. Right, so the guy with the grapnel just got a banana bomb. But there's nothing he can attack, I don't think. Okay, so it's over to our dudes in red. Shotgunner is going to pick up this supply crate. Hang on, I've realised that I've missed a step somewhere. Apologies, guys. Apologies, I've kind of been skipping over a little bit here. At the end of each worm's turn, we need to roll for wind. What I'm going to do, because I haven't been doing it for the this turn thus far, let's move him back here. I'm going to keep the wind until the rest of the worms have acted. However, what I have needed to do is roll to see if anything else drops, if there's any supply drops. So at the end of this worm's turn, we roll a dice. This is the wind mechanic. I'd change the wind direction, but in this case I'm just going to see if there's a supply drop instead. There is not. So at the end of this worm's turn, whoops, there is. It's a mine or an oil drum. Now, for this player's choice, he's going to put down an oil drum here. Now it's at the end of this guy's turn, so 6, nothing happens at the moment because we're not changing the wind. Okay, right. So now we're going to do the worms go. Supply crate. What does he get? Oh wow, he gets an airstrike. Now Okay, that scatters the target token. We're not going to use that just yet. Now, annoyingly, he only moved one. It's not an idea. I mean, we can risk moving into a landmine space and seeing if it's a dud, but I don't know if the guy wants to risk it because he could get shot. So he's going to move backwards now, and we're going to roll to see if there's a supply drop. Nope. And now this guy with the baseball bat, I mean, he can move through these spaces without anything happening, so that's exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to fire a grenade now. He's actually going to fire it in front of him here, where one of a few things could happen. It could either go into the water, it could cause another crater, or it could hit one of the worms in one of the adjacent hexes. Now, as it's right in front of him, let's discard that. As it's right in front of him, he gets to roll all 4 dice, and that means that I can choose the result I want. Not ideal. I've got 2 3s, which would cause it to land here. I've got a 5, which would cause it to hit myself. Or I've got a target, which will put a crater in that space. So, okay. That could have gone better. Bit of a waste of a bazooka, but if anything else damages that hex, it's going to turn into a water hex. And now, do we get a supply drop after that turn? We do not. But as this is this the last? This isn't the last Worms turn just yet. No. It's now the guy with the banana bombs turn. We are going to get into some combat. 1, 2, and I'm going to use the fire punch. Damage thing in own hex, then knock back, scatter it. Okay, so we damage the thing in the hex, which means that this Shoryuken, which has now been used, has damaged the worm with the baseball bat. We now scatter it by rolling one of the dice, and it works kind of like the wind. So if I roll the wind marker there, it will move the direction of the wind. If I roll a number, it will move in that direction. So right now 3, 4 and 1 are not good for this worm. And neither 6, because it will get pushed back into our mine. But if I roll a target, I get to choose which direction, as it's a knockback scatter rather than just a normal scatter. So let's see what happens here. It's a 1, which means the worm has been knocked into the water and is removed. So first blood goes to, essentially, first KO goes to the red team. Wow, okay. So yeah, there you go. That's kind of how this game plays out. So we're going to kind of go through the rest of it now, but we're not going to forget to change the direction of the wind this time, which is going to happen at the start of the next Worms turn. Sorry, at the end of the next Worms turn. So I went through them all, keeping it the same. So, okay. We're going to move this guy first again. He's going to use his Uzi. Target direct hex within 2, so only straight line, so 1, 2. Damage thing in hex, so there's no accuracy, I don't need to roll any dice, it just happens. Damage thing in hex, and then move. So I can move again. I'm going to move to there, because that way I'm not within direct line of sight. Right, so at the end of the turn, See, we're not going to forget this time. Let's roll for wind or supply drop. That is a mine or oil drum. It's my turn to... Am I going to put down another oil drum? Kind of, you know, limiting where these guys can move. If, just to note, if I run out of cards, I can't make any attacks. I mean, I can prod. Yeah, apparently, because it's essentially a bit of a scrap, prodding, I need to use the, we have a little flipper, it's called a danger flipper, which is usually used for mines to see if they're duds. But we flip that, and if it's good, then we knock back, scatter a worm. Let's stand him up. He's not going to move. Well, actually, is he? Well, he's got an oil drum, which could be dangerous. There's a mine, which could be good. There's another mine. No, he's going to stay where he is. He's just going to use the Uzi to shoot 2 spaces, direct, 1, 2. And now he can move again. So we're going to go 1, 2, move him back here. However, that's is there a supply drop after this? Nope, it actually turns to 3, so the wind is now blowing this way. Okay, well, we're not having that. We're going to stand this guy back up again. Now, he can't attack if he jumps. He doesn't need to jump though. He's just going to go, oh hang on, he needs to, accuracy. No, accuracy 2 is okay. 1, 2, into this hex with the oil crate. And he doesn't have any choice but to use the banana bomb. Accuracy 2, so that would be none. 1, 2, oh no. Okay. We don't have a choice. We're going to go through the landmine and hope it's not a dud, and hope to get to here. So we'll flip the coin now to see if the landmine's a dud. It's good. 1, 2. Right, now 0, 1. The only reason I say that is because you need at least 1 dice in order to attack. So what do we do to accuracy 2? Blast hex twice. Target hex. Could be that it could come back here and turn this one into a water hex. Right, I need a target, because then it will start throwing these dudes around. Hang on, accuracy 2, yeah. Blast hex twice, scatter target token, and blast hex again. Oh, I see, right, okay. Right, so wind direction comes over here. That gets a couple of banana bombs, but then we scatter the hex again. It's a 6, which comes back here. Wow. That gives us a crater because it's blasting the hex, and both of these dudes are knocked over. Okay. Now, Dynamite dude has already acted this turn, so it might be troublesome for him. Do we get a supply drop? Because otherwise we're going to run into some trouble. We do not. It moves to 3, which is where it is already, so the wind doesn't change. Now, we've got a bazooka. Right, the dude with the shotgun is going to try and shoot this guy with his bazooka. So he gets 2 dice because he's far away. He gets a 1 and a 2, which means it would either land here or here. And he's decided, actually, he's going to blast this hex. Now turns it into a water hex. So that's now impassable. Well, we can jump over it, but... Okay. Back to the yellow team. Oh, supply drop, or wind, or whatever. Target is a well, a mine or an oil barrel. Probably going to put a mine down here. Okay. And yes, they do have to go in empty hexes. So... Now both my guys have acted, so they can just pick another one to act again. I'm going to move into this hex. Do crates count as things? They are. Now, that means you can't move in there because a hex can only have 3 things in it. Okay, no, I can. Sorry, I was just re-looking the rules again. That is exactly what you can do. You can move into a full hex, but you have to prod something out of it. So that's what we're going to do. I don't like how cool that dude with the dynamite looks, so we're going to prod him. So we knock back scatter. This will be wind, number, or if I roll a target, I get to choose. And I get to choose. See you later. Into the water he goes, mimicking kind of what happened to our guy, except it was in the middle of the board here. Right. Okay. What happens to the wind? Ah, you get a crate, which I'm going to drop here because I'm petty. Right. Stand that fella up. He's not going to use his airstrike. He is going to prod. I just realised I needed to use the flipper to see if it was safe. It was in that instance. Is it safe in this instance? It's not. That means this dude gets knocked back. Oh, he could have ended up prodding himself into the water. It's a 6, which means he goes this direction, but he also sets off the mine. Is the mine a dud? Nope, the mine goes off. So, destroy the mine, resolve a blast, which means a crater goes in the hex, and the worm gets damaged. Whoops. Do we get a supply drop? We do, we get another one. Right, okay, so we can pop one down for the red team. But that will happen in a minute. Ooh, things are getting a bit tense now, aren't they, guys? Okay. We're going to check what that is. It's an Uzi. We are going to move back here then and not use it. What else happens? I swear these dice, well, they're not fish, but I swear these dice are not weighted. But yes, there's another supply drop, which we'll put there again, because again, why not? So our guy with the shotgun, because he hasn't acted in this sort of round yet, I guess. he's going to check to see what this is. Got a homing missile. Target hex within 2, blast hex. There's nothing within 2 at the moment. Well, he can move again. Right. Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. There's no. He's going to use an airstrike, which could be good. It could be bad. But he's desperate. Now, this scatter target hex. Target token. So we put the target there. There's no range on it. Scatter target. You know how this works by now. 6. Oh, well, that is exactly what he didn't want to do, because it's now hit his own worm. Blast hex and adjacent one in the current wind direction. So it is hitting that one anyway. So, okay. We blast both hexes. Unfortunately, Banana Bomb Man is taken out by the airstrike. But this guy is also knocked over. It is his turn now, though. I think the yellows might... Well, I mean, let's see. He stands up. He's going to move over here. And he's going to... Oh, we didn't roll to see what happens to the wind. Sorry, guys, I keep forgetting this. There is a mine. It's got to go into an empty hex, so we're going to put it here. Okay, well, yellow dude stood up and moved to there. He's going to use the Uzi, which has a range of 2 on it. Damage thing in hex and then move again. It's going to move back here, because it's not really a good idea to move anywhere else. This is getting littered with mines. Okay, so red dude stands up. This isn't good for the guy with the grappling hook, because the guy with the grappling hook is about to get dunked. Because our man... Oh no, he can't reach him. Okay, we're going to go... Okay, yes he can, because it's not direct. So 1, 2, he can move to here. And now he's going to use the homing missile to damage the hex that this guy's in, blast the hex, which means it becomes a crater, or it adds another crater. It turns into a water hex. They're all pink. So we'll put that there for the moment, which means he sinks to the bottom of the ocean. Let's pop a blue one on there, as we've got blue water here. There's pink water on the other side. Okay, so now it's 1-on-1. Is there a supply drop for this worm with the shotgun? There is not. It's a landmine. And I am running out of landmines. We are going to see what this is. It's a sheep. I'm wondering when this might turn up. Target hex accuracy 3. I might use this actually. Move back here. 0, 1, 2. We're going to target this hex here. I don't have to target a worm, I just have to target a hex. So, accuracy 3, which means I'm rolling 1 dice, because it's 3 away. Scatter the target token. Collect supply crates in target hex, blast hex. Well, we haven't got any supply crates kicking about, but it might still work. So this basically means, let's see if it hits. It does hit there, but we scatter it again. And ideally I want a 1. Which I don't get. I get a wind, which means it moves this direction. So we blast that hex again. Well, we can't because it's a water tile now, so it doesn't do anything. Oh well, that could have been fun. Right. We now have a bit of a situation where we have 1 worm on each team and none of them have any attacks. So they're going to have to get into close combat. I think we're going to avoid this minefield over here and see if we can come up here somewhere. Anyway, what happens at the end of the wind? That is a crate. That is a crate for me, though. Okay. Red dude. He's going to move here, mainly because of the fact he can't move into those hexes. Does he get a drop? Nope. The wind changes to 6. Okay, oh, we can put that there now because I haven't got any cards. Okay, this is where this guy hopes for a bazooka or something, or a homing missile. But anyway, what is in the crate? He's been very lucky with the supply drops. He's got a fire punch. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's something. Yeah, he's going to be brave and move into there. Wind turns to 2. Now we have an issue here. We don't want him getting close as he's got a special attack that knocks back. So he's going to move back and stay there. He also doesn't get a drop, but the wind also doesn't change. Move up. It's another supply drop. Well, I don't want the guy with the shotgun to get it, as it's on my turn. Speaking with the guy with the shotgun, though, well, no, he can stay there. It doesn't need to move at the moment. Supply drop. Because if he moves into this space, that will mean that a drop can't land here. And we are rapidly running out of spaces. On that note, though, this guy is now going to jump 2 and move over here. I actually don't have any more mines, so I can't put any more down. Okay, so red. Oh, hang on. Oh no, yeah, I just rolled that. So red. Make or break, dude. This is going in his favour, providing he flips okay. So, prod the guy with the bazooka. Said no one ever. Oh no, disaster. So he's going to go in the water. Well, he's got... If he rolls a 1... or the target... because then he chooses which direction he goes in. If he rolls a 1 of a target, he's okay. If he rolls anything else, including the wind direction, he's in a drink. It's a wind direction, which means he himself gets knocked back into here. He's in the water, he's gone. And that means it's victory to the yellow team, or, well, the remnants of the yellow team, or 1 worm left. So, wow. There you go. That got a bit tense, didn't it? At some parts. But, so there we go. That was Worms, the gift calendar game. I enjoy this. This is a bit of fun. It will be a bit more fun if you're playing it with somebody else, and I'm hoping to actually be able to do that at some point in the not so distant future. So I'll let you know how that goes. But yeah, that's fun. That's fun. But there we go. So please do join me next time, where I'll be playing the Walking Dead gift calendar game. So please do join me for that one. But until then, keep on adventuring, guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.